Welcome to Capital City News, your source for staying informed and engaged with Salt Lake City government. I'm your host, Brian Young with SLC TV. This week we sat down with Mayor Mendenhall to talk about her budget priorities as we head into the next fiscal year. Our History Minute is about the early bike lobbyists who got the streets in Salt Lake City paved. But before we get to those, let's take a look at our legislative update, our look-backs, and take a look at road construction.
At its May 3rd meeting, the City Council heard the mayor deliver her annual address for her proposed budget, discussed further options for new district boundaries, and renamed the city's Housing and Neighborhood Development Division as the Housing Stability Division. At its May 10th meeting, the City Council received a budget overview for the next fiscal year and voted unanimously to enhance the safety of Salt Lake City by changing the standard speed to 20 miles per hour on all streets unless otherwise posted. To learn more, visit slcgov.gov/council. Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall and the city's Urban Forestry Division planted trees at Rose Park Elementary School with kindergarten students and faculty in celebration of Arbor Day.
These trees are going to make a giant wall of shade on the playground, on the soccer field here in the hot afternoons in summer. It's going to be like a wall of green trees shading the lawn. It's going to be amazing.
To learn more, visit the Salt Lake City Urban Forestry Division's website. Last month, Mayor Mendenhall proclaimed April Fair Housing Month. The mayor joined partners from the community at Valor House, a supportive housing facility operated by First Step House in partnership with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and the Housing Authority of Salt Lake City. They spoke of the need for accessible accommodations in housing and business.
Fair housing, it isn't just the law, it's the way that as a community we can say to those of us who want to call Salt Lake City home that no matter who you are, there's a place for you here, and we are dedicated to making sure of it.
To watch the complete event, please visit our YouTube page. In honor of Small Business Week and in coordination with the Department for Economic Development, Mayor Mendenhall visited 6 small businesses across the city who have benefited from Salt Lake City programs. From Quarters Arcade Bar in downtown to the Neighborhood Hive in Sugar House, you can watch all of her visits on our YouTube channel. Mayor Mendenhall and the City Council appeared on the steps of the state capitol in support of abortion rights in the United States.
That the decision of abortion is an individual decision that is one of the most difficult decisions a woman may have to make or choose to make in her life, and it is hers and hers alone.
To watch the complete event, please visit our YouTube page.
For our road construction update this week, we're going to take a look at projects on 200 South and 900 South.
You may have noticed that the 200 South reconstruction project has been getting prepped the past few weeks. The actual street construction is finally beginning this week. Learn more at 200southslc.com. 900 South Phase 2 will be focused on the area between the railroad and 300 West. One lane of traffic in each direction will be maintained, with the work starting primarily on the south side of the road. Keep an eye out for the extension of the 9-line trail while this work is happening. The businesses on this corridor are open, so shop small, especially during construction. Learn more at 900southslc.com.
To keep up with these or any other road construction projects going on in Salt Lake City, be sure to visit slc.gov/construction. For our interview this week, I sat down with Mayor Mendenhall to talk to her about her budget priorities as we head into the next fiscal year.
The first Tuesday of every May, the mayor gets to present their budget to the City Council, and the 6 or 7 weeks that follow that are filled with pretty rigorous debate and examination of what that proposal is. And I was excited to present my first budget in person to our City Council just a couple of weeks ago. I'm really grateful that I had 6 budgets on the City Council to get to know the process itself, but really what our awesome divisions and departments are able to do. On top of that, being the mayor now, going through a pandemic and numerous crises, I really know what our departments and divisions are capable of and what kind of a vision they have for serving our residents even better. Salt Lake City is in high demand, nationally speaking. Our economy is incredibly strong, but that doesn't mean the opportunities are connecting to our residents. And I love being in this position as mayor and being able to direct our budget to consider the opportunities of our residents who haven't been connected to the growth that is benefiting so many others in the city. That's really what's driving my motivation, and I'm so happy to be in the role down here at the south end of the hall where I get to put together these values and priorities into a budget for the council to consider. We made a priority matrix so that as we receive the requests for our budget process from department directors, we were able to weigh them and value them against what the priorities are of this administration. Air quality, equity, looking at our public safety, homelessness needs in the city, affordable housing, and the environment in general were some of the leading priorities that helped me make those budget decisions for the city. This budget is unique because it's the most multidimensional budget that I've seen in City Hall in almost a decade. We are asking for a property tax increase of our residents. We haven't done one in about 8 years. And in that same amount of time, we've seen our city grow to the largest population it's ever had. We need to grow our city capabilities in terms of our staff and our program ability to match the needs that our residents and our businesses are asking us to be able to serve. That's what the property tax is about. But in addition to that, we're asking the council to put on the ballot for November a decision that the voters will make around a general obligation bond, $80 million that would help us reimagine nature. It's an investment in a regional park, more park investments throughout the city, trails, planting along the Jordan River and activation there. It would be an incredible investment in our open space that, as a fast-growing population, we really need to improve the quality of those green spaces that we cherish. We've put together a remarkable amount of money for affordable housing. Altogether, across 2 city departments, there's a $21 million affordable housing proposal. And we want to prioritize most of those funds for deeply affordable housing, which the private market really isn't able to reach the need of enough. In addition to that, we were able to use some of our Hive Pass dollars in the city, which is our transit partnership with UTA, and we are planning now through the budget to offer a Hive Pass to every K-12 student in Salt Lake City, making bus access, tracks, streetcar, whatever mode they need to travel on completely free. The Commission on Racial Equity and Policing has continued to help us examine how we do public safety in the city, and their recommendations are reflected in this budget. The majority of positions in this budget for the police department are civilian positions, and we're really grateful for that continued work with the Commission to help us figure out how to do public safety better in this city. The city wants to hear from you. If you're a resident or business owner here, please get involved in our budget process. You can check out the budget at SLCgov. There's public hearings coming up. You can email the council directly or reach out to individual council members. You can show up and listen to the city council's deliberations over the budget and make your thoughts heard, whether that's through Zoom or in person. We definitely want your input, and we need you to be a part of the process.
Time now for the History Minute. In the 1890s, with roads left unpaved, bicyclists often took to riding on the sidewalk. Referred to at the time as scorchers, these bicyclists sped down the lanes, crashing into pedestrians often with no regard for safety. In 1892, City Council member Frederick Horn was hit by such a bicyclist, and he went to work trying to ban bicycles from Salt Lake City altogether. Ultimately, he was unsuccessful, but something still had to be done to keep this emerging mode of transportation in the city safe and easy. In 1894, restrictions kept bicycles off most sidewalks during the dry summer months, but this still didn't fix the problem. By 1899, a total ban on sidewalks was in place, and the public largely supported it. One person told the Salt Lake Tribune that, quote, "Salt Lake is the only city of its size on Earth that contains only 2 miles of paved streets. The bike has come to stay, so the proper thing to do is to provide for wheels as we do for other vehicles. The sidewalk is not the place for them." Paving streets for bicycles was a hot-button issue of the day, and debate continued while cyclists began organizing enough to influence local politics. In 1901, the Wheelmen's Protective Association nominated its own candidates for local elections. This challenge was enough to bring about change and created a compromise. Cyclists would stay off the sidewalks and pay a licensing fee, and Salt Lake City government would start constructing the paved bike paths that turn into our streets of today. That's it for another episode of Capital City News. Remember, the best way to stay engaged is to stay informed. You can do that by following us on social media at SLCgov, by subscribing to us on YouTube, or watching us on Channel 17. So, reporting in from out of the blue in the 9th and 9th neighborhood, I'm Brian Young with Salt Lake City TV. Until next time.